Grab your headphones, listen up, you know you love it. Drop the facade. Like the Dark Knight detective, they've got some perspective. They're a pure crime-fighting collective. It's the Bat Pod.
Welcome to this episode of Gotham Currents. My name is Bill Beer, and joining me this afternoon, John Coos.
Maybe afternoon for you.
Yeah, afternoon on this coast. You're on that coast.
I know. Yeah. I don't know why it doesn't say Batman underneath your name, because you were making a big deal about you were being Batman last time.
Last episode, I should have.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Tonight, we're going to be discussing Detective Comics 1092, Nightwing 121, Batman and Robin, Year 1, number 3, and Catwoman, number 71.
The Bat Pod is a spoiler podcast. Please read the comics we're reviewing so you can enjoy the show.
All right, then. When we just get right into it, do some comic books. So we got Detective 1092, Mercy of the Father, Part 3, written by Tom Taylor, art by Mikel Janin, letters by Wes Abbott, and editor Ben Mears. All right, what do you think of this cover, Bill?
I like this cover. This was, you have the Esma, however you pronounce that. She's sneaking up on Batman and Robin. Kind of a dark cover, some sort of red light, so you can tell it's at night, is flashing on the front of their faces. So I like this cover. A lot of colors and greens in it, and reds.
Yeah, it looks like they're under threat by Asima, whatever we call her.
Asima sounds better, actually.
I looked it up and I couldn't find any reference to make any sense, or some mythological stuff, but it didn't seem to. Didn't work. But anyway, yeah, nice cover. One of those covers where the action depicted really isn't in the book, but we'll cover that right now. So we last left with the official introduction of this character, Asima. She's a scary-looking character who reminds me a little bit of Talon with those glasses and her claws. Bruce has decided to take the anti-aging and regenerative serum scientist Scarlett Martha Scott gave him, and it seems to be working. Kids are still dying, apparently at the hands of Asima. So issue 1092 starts with Asima injecting a young boy, Kai Edwards, with a substance from a hypodermic needle attached to her claw-like gloves. The boy has been put into a hotel for safekeeping by Damien. Well, that didn't work. We move to a scene in the Batcave where Damien and Bruce are sparring. Damien determines that not only is Bruce faster, but his mind seems faster as a result of taking Sangral, the aforementioned anti-aging drug developed by Scarlett, for the ultra-rich who can afford it. Bruce also has the Bat computer analyzing his physiology, and he determines there are blood platelets in his system that aren't his. Orica tells Batman about Kai's murder. Bruce calls Harvey, who tells him that the police aren't being allowed in the hotel. Batman and Robin grapple to the balcony where they discover Kai's body has been drained of his blood. While on the balcony, they hear men talking in the room. They eavesdrop and learn the men are there to discover who put Kai Edwards in this hotel room to begin with. Batman decides it's time to confront the men. Batman and Robin kick their butts, and Batman nabs one of their wallets to find ID that has a logo of a Holy Grail-type cup with wings on the sides, and relays the image to Oracle. Then they leave. Batman and Robin leave. We switch to a scene located inside the Theramise Health HQ, the company that produces the Sangral. Bruce is getting a checkup. Bruce proposes that he invest in the company in order to help make it more available, the the serum available to average people, Scarlet lets out a nervous, "No, my investors. I stuck my neck out a little to get you added, but don't bring this up again." Bruce deduces she's scared and she's being surveilled. He needs some answers and decides to take her to dinner. They have a nice dinner. Bruce asks why her ailing mother can't benefit from the Sangral, and Scarlet gets uncomfortable, wants to change the topic, and kind of ends the date. While walking back to their cars, two thieves try to mug them. Scarlet jumps into action and kicks their butts with only a little help from Bruce. This ordeal brings them closer together, and they start making out in the parking lot. This is where the story gets a little R-rated, so parents, please excuse your children from the room or hit pause on your podcast player. We find an after-action scene in Scarlet's penthouse bedroom where Bruce and she clearly got busy. How do I know this? They're chit-chatting in bed, naked. While she's in the bathroom washing Bruce off of her, Bruce takes a thumb drive, complete with an image of Oracle on it, and downloads the contents of Scarlet's personal laptop. We next move to Oracle's clock tower, headquarters of the Birds of Prey. Batman, Robin, and Barbara are looking over her computer. Robin and Barbara tease Batman about how he got the thumb drive. A lot of the data is encrypted, but Barbara finds email receipts showing a connection between Scarlet and the Faultless Detention Center, the one place that ties all the child killings together. All right, Bill. I loved it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, not as much happened, but it was all really good. Like, it flowed super quick. Well, it was such a good read that it was kind of like, oh man, it already ended. I don't know. Did you have that sense? I don't know.
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah,
it seems like too. They're giving us breadcrumbs here. My biggest question is, why are they collecting the blood from these kids? Because this kid got drained. Why are they draining his blood? What?
Well, I think it's this last scene that connects it together. Maybe it's too obvious for it to be true, but Bruce finds that his physiology has blood platelets that aren't his own. These kids are connected to this detention center, and then through the email that Barbara analyzed, Scarlet was emailing that detention center. So could it be as simple, sort of an Occam's razor thing, is that Bruce has one of these kids' blood in him?
I guess it's possible. What experiments have they been doing on these kids in this detention center, I guess, is the big question.
Yeah. I mean, if they're using, these are the kind of kids that don't have probably any parents or support system or people that care about them, so they're not going to be missed if they're dead, that kind of thing. Okay, so we'll see. That's where I think this is going. The question is, like, I've got questions too. Like, is Scarlet clearly is fit, and this Azima is clearly fit. Would it be too simple that she's Asima, whatever?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I think they're trying to leave that question out there.
It's super obvious that they want you to think, oh, yeah, that's who it is. I don't know if that's correct, but we will see. Can I tell you how much I love the artwork in this?
You should tell me that.
When they're jumping from the bat plane, Batman and Robin are on that full page. Yeah. That looks totally incredible. You even have the bats. The bats followed the bat plane and that sort of thing. So that's cool. There are a lot of scenes in here. The art is just incredible.
No, totally. I agree. And I like the dialogue between them, even when they're standing out on the balcony. Like, Bruce says, let's just listen to these guys for a little bit, And then I thought it was kind of funny that he just, maybe kind of realistic. He got what he came for, I guess. He found some ID, and then he just kind of left them there and didn't. I guess what would he do with them? But
Yeah.
I mean, the the scenes with Scarlet. I mean, and I'm not getting into the obvious part yet, but like, so is she? What do you think she is? Do you think she's 15 or so years younger than him? Maybe I don't know, but
Well, let's go with 10. It doesn't
10 or
seem as
something.
creepy.
Okay, maybe so, but she's clearly been. I mean, she's got. I don't know if she's using the serum herself. Maybe do we know that? But
No, we don't.
but she's got some super great fighting skills and reflexes. And then, this whole scene. I wanted to ask you, sort of, among the two of us, probably a bigger Batman expert than me, but like, have you? There's been scenes where they imply stuff goes down between Bruce and a woman. Obviously, what comes to mind, Vicky Vale from the '89 movie. She's having breakfast the next morning, so you kind of figure out that, or like Talia al Ghul back from some comics and stuff. But have you ever seen it this explicit?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you have.
I
Okay.
haven't seen it, in the New 52, him and Catwoman.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was in issue
If
one.
you recall
I think,
that,
I think that was
right.
issue one of Catwoman. That was okay. Good point. Good point. But this is like that's different in my opinion because they have an on again, off again relationship. This is like him just straight up using.
This isn't any different.
Sex
Now,
for information.
you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I don't know.
This isn't any different of him going undercover as another character
Okay.
and doing what he has to do to get information. And
No, it's not. No, it's
Yeah,
not. No,
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
But
I mean, Batman's willing to do anything apparently
sure.
to get what he needs.
Yeah. Yeah, true. No, I know that. But
Yeah.
anyway, but it's a pretty explicit. Like this doesn't have a PG-13 on it on the front cover, does it? Or like a mature readers thing, does it?
No, there wouldn't be a mature readers, but
Well, they did for that Catwoman comic. I don't know if you remember that on the front page. It had a rating on it. But at any rate,
it says it says 13 plus.
Oh, 13 plus.
On
Okay,
yes.
Okay, it does. Okay, cool. So, well, that's good. So I thought it was funny. I mean, it's great that he's got a thumb drive handy. Of course, that's why he's there. But it literally has the Oracle logo on it, which I like. Would you really carry that around like that?
All right.
I thought that was cute, but maybe a little weird for covert activity. And then there's this. I love there's only I'm not gonna quote them unless you want to, but I think this whole thing about from Damien and Barbara are like, oh, how'd you get this? I thought that was kind of cute, and Batman does not look amused.
And is that Nightwing's dog?
Is that Nightwing's dog? That's a great question. His dog's white, isn't it?
I thought though.
Maybe that is Nightwing's dog. It could be because Barbara lives with Dick Grayson, so it probably is Nightwing's dog.
No, Batman is super serious here. They make assumptions, but he never he never breaks. He probably feels a little, invaded, I guess is the term. Having this other blood or platelets or whatever you want to say in his body. He's feeling better for some reason. Almost seems to me like there's going to be some kind of crash at some point, just like you take an energy drink.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a crash. So I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah. That's a great prediction, actually. Typically, that's what does happen. Side effects something's going to happen. But I guess we could wrap this up with we both are very pleased with Tom Taylor's detective run thus far. Safe to say?
Oh, yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot. I mean,
Yeah, this might. If I got comics once a month like I did in the old days or whatever, I forgot to go get my pull list and I got a stack. I bet you this would be one of my. This might be my top comic right now. Is it too bold? I think it. I mean, you might be absolute Batman, but I'm loving this.
no, I've been enjoying this a lot. This is right up there. The one thing, if you recall, the first issue of this, they were talking about Bruce's father and Joe Chill. We haven't touched on that. I'm curious to see how that's going to tie in to everything.
Yeah,
Which it'll be interesting. So.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't come back to that yet. But yeah, okay, cool. So what do we got now?
So our next book, we got some Nightwing, which is we'll see some things that are similar between the two. But our next book is going to be Nightwing 121. Writer Dan Walters, artist Dexter Soy, colors Veronica Gandini, letters Wes Abbott, editor Jessica Burby. And we get a cover here. It looks like Nightwing is fighting the Teddies. And what do you think of this cover? It says Night Night Teddies.
It's fine. One comment I have is when you read the book, you find out most of them are kids.
Yeah. That makes it a little weird.
Well, there's that. And then the other thing is I almost think they look out of proportion to him in this drawing. They look like he's a man.
Bigger.
Yeah, they look bigger here than they do in the book, but
yeah.
It's all right. And I don't remember a guy with a rabbit head in the book, but whatever. It's fine.
So in this issue, Dick meets Olivia Pierce, head of Spirit Solutions, pretending to be interested in investing. He plants a bug as Olivia gives him a spiel about superheroes and the Titans and how she can save Bloodhaven. Dick gives Barbara the clone of Olivia's hard drive he retrieved. Going out as Nightwing, he plans to discourage the Teddy gang from recruiting children. He beats down the group of Teddies, but the kid whose brother was killed last issue said the Teddies saved their lives. Dick and the Teddies are at an impasse when the cops show up. Dick leads the Teddies to safety, taking down some cops on the way and giving them use of one of his safe houses. And later, Nightwing gets a call from Barbara, and she says Olivia may have been a Gotham villain he met before that knows him as Robin. So, another issue of Dan Walters' Nightwing coming off the run of a spectacular run of Tom Taylor. What did you think of this issue?
It's fine. I mean, I like some of it. I mean, the art's pretty great. It didn't seem like the story moved forward very much in this issue to me. I don't know about you. I mean,
most of the focus was on the Teddies and they're accused of, stealing, in public's eye, stealing from how do you say that? Spirit Solutions.
Well, there's something at the end here about Barbara and him talking, or Oracle and him talking about something she's been investigating, and there's something that she says at the very end. Something tells me you might have met her before a long time ago when you were Robin. So, like,
right.
There's somebody that we're going to see in this book that might have been like a long time ago, but maybe a long time ago might be in comic form 20 years ago or something. So that kind of intrigues me.
Or it might be, the made for the story, something that hasn't been told that happened. It could be either way.
Okay, you're right. That's true. I suppose that's possible. Maybe I'm just hoping they bring back some weird character from the past, some cool.
I mean, it's possible they could, but we will see. And, she finds on the computer, it says little circus boy. So she knows that Dick Grayson is Robin, obviously. Well, we got that because her and her friend
the
from the circus. Guy? Yeah, whatever that guy is.
Yeah, and he's not even, and that's one thing that's weird, is that whole thing it was so prominent in the last two issues where this guy's pulling strings on the weird way that they did him on the top in sort of an allegoric kind of way or whatever. So that's not even in this issue.
No, you don't see anything more about him or even that whole organization or whatever. It did feel a little weird now that you see Nightwing, and there's the one panel that Nightwing is talking to the one Teddy's talking about Mama Bear, let us hang around, but he's so much smaller than Dick, and Dick basically kicked their butts. Are they all like 13? That seems a little weird to me personally, but
a couple of things that I guess we'll look for in the next issues are that he put a bug in that lady's, the CEO of Spheric's office. He wants to be on their board, so he may buy some shares. We'll see. The Barbara scenes in this book continue to thrill me. Actually, I like their relationship. Now, a quick note about the dog. This dog is not all white, and it looks smaller than the dog that we just saw in Detective.
Oh, that's true. This
dog looks gray and white, I guess. So we'll have to keep tabs on these dogs for the next episodes, because now I'm curious. I don't know who that dog. Maybe the colorist got the dog wrong.
Maybe it's possible.
Yeah. It's probably Dick's dog.
Isn't that what editing is for?
You'd think we're gonna bust him for that.
No, he wants to talk about investing, but she said the company is publicly traded.
Oh, he didn't put a bug. I'm sorry. Before you get into that,
he
didn't put a bug in. He actually downloaded stuff. He looks like he downloaded some stuff. Right? Is that what he did with that device? Because he gives it to Oracle. Okay, fine.
So, one thing, did you notice when she's talking about, what she can do for the city, and once he turns around, that guy with the mask is on her computer.
Yeah.
But when you see her looking, there's nothing on her computer, but when he turns around, the guy with the mask is there, like he's watching this.
Yeah, I did pick up on that. So there he is, behind the scenes, I guess. Yeah. Maybe the next issue will focus on these other gangs, but he seems closest to these Teddies.
They're going to be hanging out in his little bat cave.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was fine. It was good. But again, I don't feel like the story got moved that far along. But
no, we didn't find out anything more. We know everything we knew at the beginning of the issue. We knew that she knew who Dick Grayson was.
Yet another person who knows who Dick Grayson is. Okay, good. But,
yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll move along now to our next book, which is sort of Elseworldsy, cool, whatever. We don't know if it's continuity, but it's great so far. And that would be Batman and Robin Year 1, number 3. Before we get into the credits here, what'd you think of the cover?
I like the cover. It's Bruce sitting at the Bat computer, and you see Robin in the background. It was a cool looking cover. I do like the artwork on that. You see,
Yeah.
he has his cow is sitting there to the left. His chair is shaped like a cow, and Robin's just sitting on this railing. He looks like a teenage kid would do, just hanging out there.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he looks bored, but he might be bored, but yeah.
It looks like he's throwing batarangs or something.
Something, yeah. So this was this time they decided to give credit to the plotters, sort of a la the old days with Keith Giffen and stuff. Co-plotters Mark Waid and Chris Samney, writer Mark Waid, artist Chris Samney, colorist Mateus Lopez or Lopes, not sure which. Letters Clayton Cowles and Chris Samney, and editor Andrew Marino. So our story opens in General Grimaldi's war room. He's making plans with his henchmen to pit the Gotham crime families against each other. Seems like a common theme in some of these books. Anyway,
Yeah.
the next few pages show a hit on someone made to look like one crime family struck another, and other machinations of similar intent. We move to the Batcave. Bruce is at the Bat computer, like on the cover, analyzing clues. Alfred appears, and he wants to chat with him about Dick Grayson's behavior. Bruce is not listening. He's not to be bothered. He keeps murmuring things about the gangs and the crime families, and he's super focused. Alfred, at that point, yells at Bruce. Bruce claims that this was the first time that's ever happened, and Alfred leads Bruce up to the manor. We see Dick in his room watching cartoons and snacking. The place is a mess. Dick is an out-of-control teenager. Alfred scolds Bruce that Bruce is responsible for Dick. Then the bat signal is seen through a window in the manor. We move to a scene where we see a shipping freighter with all these containers on it out at sea. We learn it's outside GCPD's jurisdiction, hence why Jim Gordon asked Batman to go check it out. It's got a bunch of mobsters on it. Batman and Robin sneak into the hull and find that the mobsters have Two-Face tied to a chair. They're grilling him about something, and and he reveals that after being beaten up, tied to a chair, that he gives up a name, General Grimaldi, and he states that he also enabled Tony Zuko to kill the Flying Graysons at the circus. When Robin hears this, he flips out and attacks. Two-Face tells Robin he was just blowing smoke. Then smoke fills the room. The mobsters split. I wrote monsters. The mobsters split. So does Two-Face. Gets away in a boat. Robin's foot gets tangled in a cable, and Batman saves him from going overboard, but the ship is rocking, and a container smacks Batman into the sea. The story ends with a panel that looks like Batman is done for, unconscious underwater. All right. All right, Bill? Got anything to add?
I really enjoyed, I enjoyed this. This is another issue, and the artwork has this feeling that it is like a year one, or like the feeling that I get, reading this but the thing that I loved about this issue, it's Bruce in the Batcave, focusing on all these gangs taking each other out. The Grimaldi guy setting all this up, and he's trying to figure all this out. And Alfred's come down there to tell him about, Dick and his behavior. And he's not even paying attention. He's just like focusing on this. And he's like, oh, he's just like me. He lost his parents. I lost my parents. He'll be fine. And Alfred's like, you need to be, I don't think you realize that you need to step up and be a parent. Mm-hmm. It's different for you. Everybody is different. And I like this. Right. And he really had to get Bruce's attention by yelling at him. And I really like that scene because he wasn't really noticing Alfred.
Yeah, exactly. Except for the fact that he trained Dick to fight and other stuff. He's kind of reverting back to his normal behavior, like Bruce. he's not to be bothered. He doesn't, all the things he would normally do, not eat. Alfred would have to remind him to eat, and all those kinds of things. But he's got this kid upstairs that he's got to give attention to. And like you said, he is a totally different person. He's got a different persona. He's got a different, he's just he's built differently than Bruce. And he's a kid who's, got a lot of energy and basically Alfred's laying down the law kind of. It's like, look, I had to raise you because, I'm serving your parents and you had nobody. But that doesn't mean I'm going to raise him. That's your job.
Yeah,
right?
You need to step up and be responsible.
Right, yeah. Yeah, in every scene, I love the way it's drawn too, and I love the facial expressions on Dick or Robin, whatever, throughout this whole series. Like, they're so spot on. Like, when he hears Two-Face falsely claim that he enabled Zuko to kill the Flying Graysons, that's, not only is the art great, but it's also Dick's impulsiveness comes out, and it's just so real to me. It's cool.
Absolutely, yeah. And, it was probably pretty easy from his jumping in. He's like, you did what? It's probably pretty easy for Harvey to figure out who this kid is, and then kind of connect it to Bruce Wayne. I think that right there is, a sign that.
Hold on a second. 1 second. I got to let my dog out. She wants out. I'm not sure where you're going. She's got a cone on her head because she was. Anyway.
But no, then Two-Face picks up his coin after that, and he stomps the guy in the head.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, live audience. I just need to close this door. All right. Yeah. So one thing I think I made a comment about during the summary, which is funny. So you got a group editor. You've got the editors. You figure there's some whiteboards and whatever at DC headquarters or whatever, where they're kind of saying, "Oh, these are the stories that are like going on simultaneously and stuff." And it seems like we've got this book where you got crime families fighting each other. You got Nightwing. You got crime families fighting each other. I mean, I just wonder if it can avoid that sometimes. Like, you know what? Let's not have a parallel theme going here in the same.
Yeah, and you had the parallel theme in Detective, with him offering to contribute, financing to their cause in both of those, and they both set a little thumb drive or whatever to mirror the computer. The same thing exactly happened
in the same month.
Right.
I know, that's another one. I was like, oh, I thought I just read this like 15 minutes ago in that.
Right. It was very similar. Question I have, wouldn't it be cool to be in this writer's room, as you said, with these whiteboards to see how everything is connecting, how that works? I'd just love to be there just once, just to see how they throw things off of each other and how they come up with stories and that sort of thing.
I would too, actually. Just as an aside, since we're going to geek out on comics for a second, is I once listened to an old interview. I think it was Keith Giffen, when they were planning out that weekly book 52.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of described how that kind of played out. You had Jurgens in the room, and you had whoever, Jeff Johns, and he talked about it, how it was really hard, especially as a weekly. But if you ever find, I'll look it up. But there's this cool interview with Giffen from about 15 years ago that talks about that kind of scene. But I think that would be like heaven for geeks like us that love this stuff to watch them go, well, we can't really do that. Sorry, Tom Taylor, because in this book, I mean, it's the exact opposite is going to happen, like, or whatever.
Right.
Or, I mean, I know it still bugs you, and it bugs me too. Like why didn't like an editor, like, did they have to kill Alfred? Did they have a big debate over it when when Tom King killed off Alfred. Like,
Yeah,
did they
that would
say-
have been interesting to see who, was there a vote or how did that go down?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, fun book. I hope that Mark Waid just keeps writing like this kind of stuff. I would love to see, I don't know, some other Wonder Woman Year One or something. I don't know. I just love the tone of it. I just really love it.
And
It's
he has
fun.
these characters, the DC characters. He really has a thumb on how they're characterized and that sort of thing. They feel real.
Yeah.
So, yeah, liked it a lot.
All right.
So-
Well, now we're going to move to a book that is,
Catwoman number 71.
Complicated.
Yes, it is. It is so different from what you're expecting with a Catwoman book. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is something that you're expecting. But their next book is Catwoman number 71. Writer Torin Grunbeck, Mariana Agnazzi, colors Patricio Delphi. Letter, Steve Wands. Editor, Ariana Totoro. And sorry for any name butchery. It's John's fault. He gave me this book. So we get a cover here of Selina sitting in a bathtub. The title says House of the Devil. And what did you think of this cover? It looks like Ice Cubes is in the bathtub. And
It's
she's all
pretty
bloodied.
cool. It's cool, and you got this, hitman or somebody behind her. But yeah, it's sexy. It's cool. I don't have much to say beyond that.
Yeah.
It's weird though because she's not Catwoman really much in this book at all. So, but she's here
No,
in this,
she's really not. I mean,
yeah.
we'll get into it. And she goes, to a ball that she has like a cat face on, but that's about it.
All
So,
right.
our issue begins 10 years ago in Europe. Selina, a.k.a. Evie, trains with a man named Shoda. Today, Selina arrives in the town of Trelleborg in Sweden, preparing to enter Stockholm as a new face with a new disguise. Ivan fights with his brother, but is called to his club where assassins sit and wait for Evie. Selina calls Evie's friend Susie as she recovers from injuries seen in last issue in an ice bath. Using her translation earpiece, Selina gets ready to infiltrate Ivan's club, fighting an assassin on her way on rooftops. She tries to get some information about the assassin's sister, but has to escape to the club. With a cat mask, Selina enters the club, seeing Ivan, and is ambushed by a man recognizing her as the dead Evie, holding a knife to her throat as her issue ends. So, we get another issue of Catwoman. This is actually part one, so the first two issues were sort of connected together. This is called Rules of the Land. We have a lot of questions, not a lot of answers. They're still trying to kill her, as in the previous two issues. What did you think of this issue?
Well, this all seems to take place 10 years ago, right?
I thought it was 10 years ago, and then it flashes forward.
See, I
because
don't know.
because
Did they say
it says somewhere in Europe 10 years ago,
right?
and then the first 3 pages, and then it says now approaching Sweden, and she's in this disguise. So I assume that it's different because she calls her friend who's in an ice bath covering from her injuries from last issue.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, they didn't come out and say present, and so maybe
Yes,
that's
they didn't. And at first that was a little confusing. It was like it kind of merged together and it was like, okay,
Yeah.
what's the past? But then when we got to the girl in the ice bath, it was like, yeah, okay. I guess that was in the present and they didn't really tell you.
Yeah. It's odd that they called this part 1 because it's like part 3. I don't understand.
Yeah, because the second part didn't, the first two
end.
parts didn't resolve anything.
No.
It didn't end. That's the exact word. It didn't end. And this
so
is
it's very weird.
yes.
But I guess so are we to believe that Catwoman or Selena Kyle 10 years ago was was she a thief, basically? I guess she was a thief, but she was also using alter egos at the same time. Are we supposed to believe this sort of happened as a pause in her Gotham thievery?
I almost feel like this was before.
Yeah,
I almost feel, yeah. A time in the DC universe is weird. It just is. It's just one of those things that you have to make a guess at. It's not really known, or
I guess so.
Time goes by very slowly.
This is where continuity junkiness.
And then you get a crossover, and then everybody gets de-aged. So
exactly, or there's a big event. She's got the whip and everything, though. She's Catwoman, but 10 years ago, was she Catwoman? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. I guess
intriguing.
the biggest question I have of this: why do they want to kill her? What's going on?
That's the same thing. Like what?
Right.
I guess we talked about it last episode.
Yeah.
Did she double cross somebody? Is the question.
Did she double cross? That's what it almost feels like. And but they must have double. They're not like. It doesn't seem like they're demanding whatever she stole. If she stole anything, they just want to kill her.
Right.
Because they're just hiring assassins from everywhere. And then the one guy, I don't know if he's trying to kill her, that puts the knife to her throat. But he's like, is that you? Surely you're supposed to be dead. And did they have a relationship? What was their relationship? Because I'm not 100% sure he's there to kill her.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll find out. So, before we move on from this episode, I just want to give a plug to a couple books that we're not going to cover, but I think are really great. Absolute Wonder Woman is turning out to be absolutely awesome. And
it's incredible.
It's super cool, and we'll do an Absolute Justice League if they get together. Do we know if they're going to get together?
I don't know.
In the Absolute
As of
world?
right now, we have Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. There's an Absolute Flash, an Absolute Green Lantern, and an Absolute Martian Manhunter book. As of April, I don't know. I mean, we don't know where this is going. I know that Mark Wade that writes the year one book is on the Justice League book, and they announced a crossover coming in April that's going through, I won't spoil too much, but it's going through the World Finest book, the Justice League book, and a World Finest annual, at least the first 3 parts. And it is in continuity. It's sort of, because World Finest usually is, a flashback or that sort of thing. But I'm excited about the villains that are going to show up for that one.
Cool.
I know John doesn't like his spoilers, so I'll keep that to myself at the moment. But you're going to be excited. That's all I have to say.
Good. And I also thought Metamorpho issue 1 was really clever. It's got this sort of Ramona Fradon kind of old throwbacky feel.
Yeah.
That's a fun book. And so, there's a lot of good books right now that we're obviously not talking about, but we're reading
There is.
nonetheless.
I mean, DC is, this all in
yeah.
really gives you a chance to recharge. The new Gods book I really enjoyed. If you like Mr. Miracle
I haven't even read it
and
yet.
Barda, check
I
that
gotta
one
read
out
that.
because it sounds like they're going to be in that. So
Cool. All right, then. So, I guess, our next episode probably is our team books, I would guess.
yes, we'll probably just throw in, we missed Absolute Batman. I blame John for that.
Okay.
We need to just throw that in. We might be just a single episode we'll throw out, talk about Absolute Batman. But yeah, we need to do the team books. Titans will be your DC current show, Titans.
Okay.
Justice League Unlimited JSA. Are you caught up on those books? Did you read those books yet?
Yeah. I have.
Yeah.
I've read them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all good stuff. So
Yeah, Justice League Unlimited was pretty fun. Last issue, I was like, "What the heck?" It's starting to gel,
and it's
yeah.
it's kind of fun to see new characters show up that you don't always
Doctor
see.
Occult from 1935.
Yeah, I mean I wasn't even could recognize him from looking at him, and then we talked about it a little offline. So it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll be back here within a week, and we thank you for staying current with Gotham Currents. We will see you later.